Now let's see how switch statement works. Now suppose I have an integer named day to let's say 5. Now I am going to print the day of the week according to this number. So if this number is 1, I want to print Monday. If it is 2, I want to print Tuesday. Wednesday if it is 3, Thursday for 4 and Friday for 5. Now what I can do is I can go for if. Then check the number d equal to 1 and in that case print Monday. Then else if day equal to 2 Tuesday, and I can go for more else if and go on like this. So for 5 days I have to do this 5 times and I can go on with this, but instead of that I will use switch, and inside of these brackets is where I use this int. So I am switching day, and inside of curly brackets first I am checking for the case 1 and colon and execute this. What it does is when the integer we passed in here is equal to 1, it will execute this line. So if this integer is 2, it will print Tuesday, and like that I can pass these values and do different operations. Now if I run with this 5 here, it will print Friday as we wanted. But if I change this to 2, what I expect is to execute this one and we get the output as Tuesday. But we get more than that. Not only Tuesday, we get Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Reason for that is when I had 5, Java will go on looking for 5 in these cases. And when it finds 5, it will print Friday and it will stop. But here, after it finds 2, it prints Tuesday and continue to go on these cases and starts executing them. To stop that, we have to break this process as soon as it's been executed. So we use break statement in each and every case. Now it will print correctly. Now suppose I have number 6 here, and if I run this, we get no output, right? Because we don't have case number 6 in here. In those situations, we can use a default case. And let's say I print something like weekend. Okay, so if the number is not in these cases, we can use some default process to execute. And now if I run this, we get weekend. Now to default case, we don't need the break statement. So if I run this, if I run 3 here, it will print only Wednesday. It will not print because we have used break statement for every cases. We don't need break for default. Now in switch, we can also use char values. I'm changing this to D, and let's say I will initialize a value of A, and if I use A here, and I can change this case to let's say D, and C, I will delete these cases. We don't need to go more cases. So if I print this now, it works fine. It is weekend because the default value, and if I pass D, it is Monday. So how is that possible? Now there are no errors. So can we use characters in switch? Yes. But what is the reason? Because as I mentioned in our previous video, char values have ASCII values. So ASCII values are integer values. So as long as we have ASCII values, we can use integers in switch cases, and this char value actually works as a ASCII value. That is the reason why we can use characters in switch statements. But if I use double, now you can see there's an error. It says cannot switch on a value of type double. So we can't use double in switch cases. But if I use a string, and if I declare a string of hello, and you can see we can switch a string. Okay, here I will pass hello, and this one to world. Don't mind about these printers, I'm just using an example. So a string in switch is working, but it is important to remember it only works in Java 1.7 version or above versions. So if I go to this and so if I change in here Java compiler, if I change this version to let's say 1.4, now we get an error. So in 1.4 we can't use string properties here. Cannot switch on a value of type string. So we can't use strings for switch cases in Java 1.7 or below. In fact, that was one of the famous questions in interviews. Can we use strings in switch? Answer is yes, but only with version 1.7 or above. So when I change this version to a below one, we get an error. We can't use strings in this version of Java. Okay, so that is how we work with switch statements. Okay, so that is all we are going to talk about in this video. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like this video, hit the like button and please consider subscribing us, and see you soon with our next video.